Good morning. Happy Friday. T is not sleeping, so I don't have to be so quiet. So what is the power of coaching and of mentoring? You know, we've talked about how number one most important thing is state management in your life. Manage your state, you got everything. Don't manage your state, you're not going to have anything. Second most important thing is whomever you surround yourself with is who you become. Never forget that the 5 people that you spend the most time with is who you're going to be in every way. Now, spending time with them is great if you can get in proximity, but if you can't get in proximity, it is perfectly fine to do it through books, to do it through videos, to do it through other methods. So what is the power of coaching and of mentoring? Well, coaching and mentoring, number one, they see your swing. Number two, you give them permission to tell you the truth, to tell you when you're doing great and to tell you when you're not doing great. But they also create proximity. When you're around a coach, you're around somebody else who presumably has accomplished what you're trying to accomplish. And so therefore you create more proximity with those that you want to be like. So Jim Rohn, his coach was a guy by the name of Mr. Schoaf, and he talked about him all the time. That's not a person that ever wrote books or did seminars. It's just somebody that Jim Rohn ran into when he was in his late 20s and early 30s. And Jim came from nothing. He came from Idaho, small farm town in Idaho. But he ran into the right person at the right time, and he got the right advice, and he listened. And he used that advice to propel himself into ultimately a very successful man financially, very successful public speaker, very successful motivational speaker. And he became Tony Robbins' coach. Tony Robbins came from absolutely nothing, literally out of a trailer park, had multiple dads. His mom was a person that had lots of challenges, punished him tremendously. He basically was kicked out of the house at 17, was working, living out of his car. He lived out of a Volkswagen Bug. His address was a convenience store, and he's only got a high school education. He then ran into Jim Rohn, saw a guest event with his, and said, I want to go speak, work for you. And he said, let me come to your seminar, and then I'll pay you back when I work for you. And Jim Rohn said, no, you have to figure out how to come up with the money to get to my seminar. If you really want to do this, then you'll figure it out. So he did. He came up with the money and he went to the seminar. How he came up with the money, by the way, he was still literally homeless. And he went into a bank and he said, loan me this money, this $2,000 to go to this seminar. I'm going to go work for this guy, and then I will pay you back. I'm going to be his number one salesperson. The lady at the bank was so taken aback by Tony that she told him, if the bank doesn't loan you this money, I will. And the bank ended up loaning him the money only because she guaranteed it. So a lady that he had never met in California guaranteed the money, and Tony went to Jim Rohn's event. There was one other person at that event who ended up also being very successful, and both he and Tony had absolutely nothing. And they were the ones that got the most out of the event. The people that it wasn't that much of a sacrifice to get to the event, didn't get as much out of it. And I've found this, by the way. I've taken a lot of people to Tony events for free, and they don't necessarily get as much out of it as the people that have to strive to get their way there. That's not always true, but I think a lot of times that certainly plays a role. So he then became the number one salesperson for Jim Rohn. He went to work for Jim Rohn after he did the event, became his number one salesperson. So now he's learned how to become successful financially, but he's doing it by exchanging his time for money. And he also was struggling in terms of now he was losing his friends and life had changed because he had money and he didn't know how to manage that. But the effect of coaching was he started now getting around people who were like who he wanted to be. And they started giving him more important lessons. So one of his favorite ones that he talks about, Jim Rohn, of course, gave him tons of lessons, but he had sold a bunch of seminars to a successful businessman. And the successful businessman said to Tony, I want you to come skiing with me. So Tony was like, all right, he'd never skied. I mean, he's from California. He'd never even seen snow. But he said, all right, I'll go. So they get on a lift and they go up the mountain. And as they're going up the mountain, and Tony is like late 20s at this point, the business guy says to him, what's the difference between you and I as we go up this mountain? And so they talked back and forth. And Tony really couldn't come up with what the guy was trying to shoot for. As they got off the ski lift, the guy looked at him and he said, and it was kind of a jerk way, but he was really teaching Tony a lesson. He said, the difference between you and I is when I get off this chairlift, I'm worth more money than when I got on, and you're worth less. You need to figure out how to stop exchanging your time for money and start making your money work for itself and make money while you sleep. And then he went down the ski hill and just kind of left poor Tony standing there. That lesson hit home for him, and Jim Rohn had gotten the same lesson several years earlier from his mentor. They both learned that if I exchange my time for money, then I'm never going to be wealthy. I'm going to have a job for the rest of my life. But they also learned that by being around people who have figured out certain things, that proximity is power. And that's the power of coaching and of mentoring, is that you get around people who've learned the lessons and they're able to see when you need to learn the lesson and give you those lessons. Coaches are somebody that you should actively seek out. Coaches don't come find you. You have to go find them. They're doing their lives. They're doing their jobs. They're looking for their own coaches. They're looking for their own masters in order to help them. Remember when we did the levels of success, and we did the dabbler, and we did the achiever, and then we did the master? And when things get tough, dabblers go away. Achievers just keep doing the same thing over and over again lots of times. But masters, they go find a mentor. They go find a person that's done this and can teach them how to do this. So you should actively go look for mentors and coaches. And you can have more than one for different areas of your life. And you want somebody that has actually produced the result. That's the person that you want to go talk to. You don't want to necessarily have the person that's written the most books or done this or that. You want the person that's produced the result. If you want somebody to help you achieve the body of your dreams, find somebody who had the body that you have and then achieved amazing results, and then go do what they did. Sow the same seeds and you'll get the same rewards. If you want financial outcomes, there's a million books out there done by people who started from absolutely nothing and then found a way to achieve financial freedom. Pick the one that works the best for you, whether it's the stock market or real estate or all of the above or none of the above, or you want to take a company public, whatever it is, find the one that fits you, sow the same seeds, and you will reap the same rewards. Coaching and mentoring is an essential part of achieving, ultimate lives and personal growth. You have to seek out these coaches and then follow their advice. And many times their advice is going to be harsh. This isn't coddling. That's not the way that it works. A lot of times it's actually, can be quite the slap in the face. That's the way coaching kind of works. But it's incredibly valuable and essential in order to break through those various barriers that you're going to run into as you're climbing the mountain of success. So for this weekend, it's Happy Friday. Find some coaches. Find some mentors. if you're really interested in personal growth, I would dramatically encourage you to find a coach that you actually talk to twice a month, somebody that you pay, somebody that's trained in coaching that you actually get on the phone with and have accountability with. But either way, seek out videos like this, seek out books, and find people in specific areas that you're now having a challenge with. If you're having a challenge with your body, look for that. If you have a challenge with finances, look for that. If you're having a challenge with relationships, then look for that. And find the people who struggled, the people that came from nothing and have achieved significant wealth are the ones that I look to for financial stuff. The people that have had long-term relationships and been able to make that work, that's the people that I look at for that stuff. That one of the things I really like about Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone is they came from absolutely nothing. They didn't have mentors financially. Both of them didn't have male role models in their life at all. Grant Cardone's dad died when he was 10. Both of them don't have educations. Both of them didn't have any start. They didn't inherit any money. Both of them figured out a way to do it on their own. And the number one attribute that I think both have is hunger. They have an incredible hunger, and the drive isn't for them. I mean, it's a little bit for them, but the drive is really for other people. They want to help their family, and then that circle of people that they want to help gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Then it becomes church, then it becomes community, and then quite frankly, it becomes the world. Those are the people that can show you the path to achieving those outcomes that you want to have. So find yourself a coach, find mentors. Those are the people that you should be listening to. Those are the people that you should be paying attention to. As you climb the mountain of success, find people who have done what you want to do and do what they do. Don't keep doing the same thing that isn't working over and over and over again. Find their approach, sow their seeds, and you will get the same rewards. Have a great Friday, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.